everyone, it's Jody at Chico Scrapbooks. Wanted to show you what we did for Make and Take Wednesday. Each Wednesday here in the shop we do a free Make and Take project all day long, 10 to 6 p.m. So be sure to come down, but just in case you didn't make it, I'm going to show you what we did and how we made it. So this week we used the new Impression Obsession Hydrangea set. It's a clear rubber stamp set, and there's dies that match. So you can stamp and cut your shapes out, which I thought would be really fun to play with. So the first thing we did was emboss a background for our card. Hopefully you can see the detail up close. What we used was the Sizzix Tim Holtz Alterations Texture Fades folder, and we used the Courtyard. Last week we did the Trellis behind the bird card, you might remember. This week we did the Courtyard. So it has that pretty Courtyard pattern, maybe you can see up close, but you'll be able to see once we ink it up. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Distress inks that we're using for this project are Shaded Lilac and Peeled Paint. And we're just going to go ahead and start blending little circles across our paper, and it really brings out the texture in such a pretty way. Really try to blend my colors in. I don't like to see where one color starts and the other one starts. Just like to see them blend right into each other. And I really don't like to see a hard line. So just little circles. What's great about distress inks is they just blend together wonderfully. So if you haven't played with distress ink yet, I would really encourage you to. Just blend, blend, blend. All right. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and apply our adhesive. This is 1-inch Miracle or Score tape. Standard card size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this piece, this layering piece, is 4 by 5 1/4, and that'll give you a 1/8 inch all the way around. And don't worry if it's not too perfect. Approximately 1/8 inch around. It's a nice clean border, not too much, not too little, just right. So hopefully you can see that texture with the distress ink and how the two colors blend really well together. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is ink my pieces. These were die cut, again with the Impression Obsession Hydrangea set. And we're using Wendy Becky's Archival ink in Fern Green. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. Don't worry too much if it's not exactly right on. Just kind of gives a little bit of interest and a little bit of dimension when you have a nice little drop shadow effect. Just get it on there, peel it off, and you might need more ink. You could also just go in and actually just hit your piece with a distress tool. Why not? Doesn't have to be completely covering. It's a little bit of added dimension and added texture. There we go. Okay, so those are our stems. Now we'll do our leaves. So there's 2 leaves and they correspond with your die. So you just want to make sure you're using the correct stamp on the correct piece. Really pretty. Okay. I'm not going to worry too much that it's not perfect because, like most things in nature, there's variety and just gives it a nice shadow texture. It doesn't have to be super perfect all the time. Just take it easy on yourselves. You have permission to just have fun and let it be what it is. Okay, so I'm just positioning my stems and my leaves just to give myself an idea of how I want it to look. It might change, but for now, just so I can kind of get an idea of where things are going to go. With the blossom, it's a very faint tone-on-tone effect with the shaded lilac on the stamp. You can see it now, and after a few moments, it might start to fade and sort of blend in a little bit, but that's okay. So what I'm trying to do here is just create a little bit of a drop shadow, just a little bit of texture. It doesn't have to be perfect. And one more. All right, so now I'm going to attach these with pop dots. To give them even more depth and an actual drop shadow. The first one, now I'm not going to glue these stems down. One, because that would be probably impossible to do. And two, because I really want to see a drop shadow underneath my stems. So if you can kind of see, under the stems there's a shadow, and it looks very pretty. So just put this one down, and it's gonna catch these. It's gonna catch this part of the stem. And one more. Okay. So now I'm going to attach the leaves. I'm going to tuck the stem right in there. one down a little bit. Maybe like that. Okay. Now just to give this a little bit of stability, I'm going to put a little bit of glue pen down these stems where they touch, just to encourage it to stay put where I want it to be. I'm just going to hold that down for a few minutes. There's several different kinds of glue pens. We use the Zig two-way glue pen. We use the Martha looks like 0.24 ounce fine tip glue pen. And we also occasionally use this little Tombow quickie glue pen. It's really sticky. This is a good one too. Okay, so that's holding. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add some little flower details to the tops of our blossoms. And I think I'll go ahead and use this one. Just going to add a little bit of glue and pick them up and place them down randomly on the top of the card. Just a little drop of glue is enough to get these to adhere. And these will dry clear, so don't worry about it if you see some glue seeping out. Just going to randomly put these down. And the glue will dry this in just a few seconds, and that will dry clear. Few more. And then we'll do some of these little babies. I'm just going to put a few down here. And a few up there. Okay. might be easier to use tweezers when handling these because they do have a tendency to get away from you. Alright, and one last one. Look right there. Okay. So next we're going to cut a little flag for a sentiment. And I'm just going to ink this up. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut a little flag into it. So for this, just do one little snip up the middle. And then I try not to worry about making it too perfect because it doesn't need to be perfect. Actually, we'll go ahead and ink it first. Just do like a little shadow frame around it. All right. I'm going to use the Hello Sentiment with the archival fern green. We'll just place it right in the middle. And pop it on the card. I think we'll put this one right over there. All right, now the only thing left is the fiber, and we did add a little bit of stickle. Maybe you can see that on camera. We used one of the new colors called lime green. And what we did is we just added a little dab to the center of each flower. Not too much, just a little. Little goes a long way. And then we also went in and added to the middle of this courtyard pattern little sparkles. And my phone is ringing. You're just going to go in and add a few little dabs here so you can get the idea on all the little corners on the bottom half. And we'll get this little blossom in the center. And if you are going to be adding lace or ribbon or trim, fiber trims, you probably want to wait until your stickles are dry, because this the wet stickles could get caught up in your fibers. But we added a couple of mohair, gorgeous mohair fibers that would coordinate with our card, and it really complemented the colors. So I hope you guys enjoy this week's make and take and give it a try.